Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman, and I come on to talk a little bit more about Job. And since I've been reading analytical psychology, I never before realized what a bunch of wretches Job's friends were. And what's interesting is there's a lot of those wretches around today, where horrible things are happening to you, and they try to say it's your fault, rather than the simple natural processes of life. And it's in these trials that we yearn to relieve the sufferings, and we wish we were back in those states of paradise, maybe the womb or in death. And it's a place that maybe we can't get back into. So in the story of the Garden of Eden, the angel was put there. You can't go back. So once you're born, that paradise state is left, and it's sink or swim. Sometimes people do sink, and this is what Job's wife was encouraging him to do. And just like I was talking about in the other video, the good and evil, both coming from God, the good father archetype, the evil father archetype. Job mentions that in Job chapter 2. So I want to read a section of that. This is out of the New Jewish Publication Society, Tanakh. This is Job 2:6. So the Lord said to the adversary, "See, it is in your power, only spare his life." And the adversary departed from the presence of the Lord, and inflicted a severe inflammation on Job, from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. He took a potsherd to scratch himself, and he sat there in the ashes. His wife said to him, "You still keep your integrity. Blaspheme God and die." But he said to her, "You talk as any shameless woman might talk. Should we accept only good from God and not accept evil?" So I think that in modern evangelicalism, especially in a lot of other belief systems, they believe that they should only accept good from God and not evil. Continuing in that verse 2:10, chapter 2, verse 10, "For all that Job said, nothing sinful. When his three friends heard about all the calamities that befell him, each came from his home." And it lists the friends. "And they met together to go and counsel and comfort him. And when they saw him from a distance, they could not recognize him, and they broke into loud weeping. Each one tore his robe and threw dust in the air onto his head. They sat with him on the ground 7 days and nights, a biblical term for a long time. None spoke a word to him, for they saw how very great his suffering was." So, in verse chapter 3, he wishes he was back in that state of paradise, or wishes maybe he was never born, or that state where suffering would be relieved. And it's been with us ever since our conceptions. The first times we feel the pains of hunger, or we bite our own fingers as kids, we start becoming aware of ourselves and start becoming separate individuals, being moved from that paradise state of the womb where everything is supplied, to finally realizing ourselves and our sufferings. Job wishes that he was never born, which is pretty interesting. Job began to speak and cursed the day of his birth. Job spoke up and said, "Perish the day on which I was born, and the night it was announced a male child has been conceived. May the day be darkness, may God above have no concern for it, may light not shine on it. My darkest and deep gloom reclaim it, may a pall lie over it, may what blackens the day terrify it. May obscurity carry off that night, may it not be counted among the days of the year, may it not appear in any of its mouths. May that night be desolate, May no sound of joy be heard into it. May those who cast spell upon the day damn it, those prepared to disdain the serpent, the Levanthian. May its twilight stars remain dark. May it hope for light, but have none. May it not see the gleamings of dawn, because it did not block my mother's womb and hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not die at birth, expire as I came forth from the womb? Why were the knees to receive me, or breasts to suck me, for me to suck? For now I would be lying in repose, asleep, and at rest. Now here's a section here that some believe should not be in there. Maybe put in at a later date. So I'm going to skip down to 16. Or why was I not buried at stillbirth, like babies who never saw the light? There the wicked cease from toiling. There the rest, whose strength is spent. Prisoners were wholly at ease. They do not hear the taskmaster's voice. Small and great alike are there, and the slave is free from his master. Why does he give light to the sufferer, and life to the bitter in spirit? To those who wait for death, but it does not come, who search for it more than for treasure, who rejoice in exaltation and are glad to receive the grave. To the man who has lost his way, whom God has hedged about, my groanings serves as my head, my bread. My roaring pours forth as water, for what I feared has overtaken me. What I dreaded has come upon me. I had no repose, no quiet, no rest, and trouble came. So from there on, his friends sit down, they talk to him. They try to blame the whole deal on him, but it's pretty fascinating. So I think we've all been through that state as human beings, and even though some people out of belief systems maybe would like to think that the righteous have some kind of advantage over the unrighteous in life, they still get hit by buses, they still die of cancer, and they still go through the same kind of process. So it's pretty interesting, and there's been many times where we all have wished for that state of paradise to go back to. And many times, especially in the Christian belief system, try to say, well, Jesus solved all that problem and it came in the world through sin. Adam got hungry in the garden. Take care, friends. And remember, if everybody is thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.